Hi all, my name is Bethany Stahl and I'm a full-time author and illustrator. Welcome to my channel. Those of you who are coming back may notice I'm not in my usual room. So today we are in my writing room, which I have designed to be this really creative fantasy type of world and really create this vibe that I'm in some old tavern. So I really like writing in here, and it really helps me get into the fantasy mindset and step away from the real world for a bit. So on all the walls in here, I have murals around the entire room, and it just creates this really warm writing vibe. But why I'm in here today instead of my typical room is because I wanted to show you guys this map, and today we're going to be learning how to create our own fantasy map. So some of you who are also nerds just like me may recognize this as the map of Tamriel, which is from the Elder Scrolls series. So that's a video game series, and it is a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to paint, and while painting it, I learned a lot about, forests and rivers and labeling little cities. It was a lot of fun to do, and it creates this really cool vibe of really being able to comprehend the entire world. So that's what we're going to do today. This video is for anybody from any stage of drawing expert to drawing beginner. Luckily, maps, even though they look really cool, they're really easy shapes, so anybody can do it. So let's grab a few supplies and get started in creating our own fantasy maps for D&D games, for fantasy novels, for anything you'd like to create. So let's just jump right into today's video. So for supplies, I just have a sheet of computer paper. I have 3 pens. You can use any types of pens, but I'm using microns. I have a 1, a 3, and a 5. I'm using just a basic mechanical pencil. And then one of these squishy erasers, which are called kneadable erasers. I love them. They're really gentle on the paper and they don't rip or mark it up. So I do recommend grabbing yourself a kneadable eraser. And then I have a piece of watercolor paper. You can use any thicker, toothier paper for the final product, or you can leave it on computer paper. This can just handle ink a little bit better, allows you to be a little rougher, and I happen to do a lot of watercolor art, so I have some on hand. So I will be using this for the final piece, but I will be sketching everything out here. So be aware that you can definitely use toothier paper if you prefer that. If you don't have access to this, like I said, computer paper will work just fine. To start off with my map, I just start sketching the outline of the continent. This is a map of Valdira, which is the continent or island that my story Tolerant takes place on. So this is going to be in the front of my upcoming book. So I am trying to orient my map to fit on a 5x8 page, which is something I paid attention to before I started drawing. So keep in mind, if you do want your map to fit across the spread or to fit on one page, just make sure that you have those dimensions in mind when you are drawing. That way it fits on it. To sketch an outline, you are allowed to be as free as you want. If you look at any coastline on any map, they are all squiggly, they are not perfect, so feel free to make it wavy or all sorts of little outcroppings and divots wherever you feel is necessary to create a little bit of interest and to give that realistic vibe. Of course, you can look at real maps to give you inspiration or just sort of wing it. After I sketched that, I wanted to figure out where my towns should lay. And since this particular map is based off of a book, I do have a good idea of where everything is at. Throughout the book, my main characters make references to certain towns, certain forests, certain areas that they travel through. So I do need to make sure that is geographically correct on my map to match up with my story. So if you are writing a novel, and this is a map for a novel, make sure you're taking notes as you're writing. That way you can sort of have an idea. And I did have a page in my notebook where I kept all my story notes of a rough drawing of the map. That way I could just have it all straight in my head and I could use those to my advantage. So I have a town at the bottom of this island, a town at the top, and then right in the middle there is a little village. So for these separate city markers, I am using what the kingdoms look like. So I'm using a relatively big kingdom for Abilene, which is my city on the bottom, and for Silvis, it is a tree which represents their kingdom. And the little town in the middle, Terwin, is just a very, very small community, so that is why it's marked even smaller. Now, there are these things called collectives in this book, and those are all these little houses that I'm putting on the outside of Abilene. Things to keep in mind when you are drawing your map is that water will flow from higher elevations to lower elevations, so make sure all of your rivers come from the mountains or the area where it is a little bit higher and is running towards the sea or towards a lake, because we want to try and keep this a little bit realistic. So of course you don't have to be perfect, but I do recommend at least trying to have your rivers be oriented properly. I also do mention a lot of rivers within the story, so I do need to make sure I have certain rivers in certain areas. I also like including a compass rose, and in terms of the mountains, forests, swamps, prairies, waters, towns, and cities, you really have freedom to use any sort of markers that you want. For mountains, you can use any sort of triangle shape. So you can use a plain triangle, you can use a rocky triangle, or you can shade it like I'm doing with a line down the middle. Honestly, the choices are endless, and whatever you want to do, just be consistent throughout your entire map. That way it's really cohesive. If you do decide to have really pointy mountains, make sure all of your mountains are in that same style. That way it isn't confusing. Also for the mountains, typically one side is drier terrain while the other side is not, and this is just due to how rainfall happens in real life. So I try to keep my dry terrain towards the left of my mountains in this map, and then I want my wet terrain on the right. When I'm drawing my coastlines, I like to have a really thick outline on the outside of the continent, and I typically focus the thicker line towards the bottom areas. I think this kind of gives a 3D look and sort of helps elevate the drawing just a little bit, but I do like a thick line around the whole thing if you'd prefer to have it even instead of uneven like I did, to where I only thicken the bottoms. After that, I do outline the entire map, so outlining it with a thinner line and circling in all my islands. This is sort of reminiscent of a continental shelf, so a little bit of shallows in that area. So if you did want to have the shallows go out further or anything like that, you could be a little bit more creative with that. And then you can leave it just outlined like that or add water lines on the outside. I do personally think the more you add to the map, the more it gets this really cool vibe of fullness, which I really do enjoy. So I like to make sure that my maps are filled with a bunch of textures and grasses, and I do like the little wavy lines of the map around signifying the water, and I even do that inside my lakes on the continent as well. And then for islands, just keep in mind with plate tectonics, the island was probably a part of the mainland at one time, and it has either split off or it's formed there by a volcano chain, which again with tectonics, as it moves over time over that hot spot, different islands will form from old volcanoes and sort of a chain, kind of like Hawaii, you can think of that. So keep that in mind when you're creating your islands or bigger chunks of land that is off of another main piece of land, that it should sort of match up to the coastline. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it should look like, oh yeah, that could have been a puzzle piece at one time. And if you're not familiar with that concept, if you look at Pangea to where all of our continents are now, you can sort of see how you could fit all of the continents together at one point, which is a really good way to sort of visualize how your own world can be. hopefully this video has helped. I would love to show you more different options on how to illustrate maps if you would like to see that. So if you would like to see that, make sure you comment below with any questions or more detailed videos you would like to see about map making. And of course, make sure you stay up to date so when Tolerant comes out, you all can order your copy and learn about what happens on Valdera. So I'm really excited about that series, and I cannot wait for everybody to check it out. It is going to be a lot of fun. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you